Hello there. Previously, we talked about how we could read the data from the properties file. So the properties file are the flat files. Those would have very simple format text. If we go to the properties that we created last time, it contained the base URL and it had the value, right? So username and the value. So these are the key and value. Key value pair is what it's called. And we had the properties reader file, so that has this piece of code. We are asking that to be static getter method, so which would ask for the key. Those key would be this key, right? And based on that key, whatever user provides, we are returning them the value. And we also have the path defined here. So there are certain drawbacks of the configuration files, properties files. So if you have like a numerous data that you have to deal with in your test, then you don't want to go through this path. Usually this is a best practice if you want to just store certain configuration stuff. Okay, so you don't want to end up writing like you want to fill in the submission form in your test, and that has numerous data, username, like a first name, last name, address, age, so and so, right? Then it will be very harder to maintain. So when you are talking about having numerous data, you want to go different route in order to read those values, which is easily maintainable. For that purpose, we would pick the Excel as like widely used. So I think this would be very helpful video for the folks who wants to learn how to upload the data, how to read the data that has been uploaded from the Excel file. Okay, we're going to practice that today. Excuse me. I have, just like I created config properties, I created the data Excel file, so which I would right click here at the project level, new file, right? And then I give the file name here with the extension XLSX. Okay. So I already created this file. Let's go with that file, what it has. So I have keys and values. Okay, what my purpose is, I don't want to go back to write this entire code for the code is not there yet, so entire code and end up writing this readable file. I want to write something which is a generic reader that reads my entire file at once and store those values, keys into keys, and then the values into values, just like the hash map. So I'm trying to create a hash map for this Excel file. So I will have public getter method that will be accessible across the project. Anywhere we need to access this data, we would provide this key. Based on key, we are going to return the value. Okay, so that is my main intention and purpose. That's how you would be designing your framework for reading the Excel related data. Okay, let's go through that in the work now. One more thing I want to mention here is this is the name, data as a file name, and here if you see the test data, this is the file sheet name. Okay, the sheet name, you would be reading that with the index, or you would name that and you'd be calling that name. And I prefer you write that like rename like this, right click rename, and then you can name however you want, and then make it something that makes more sense, right? And then let's go to Java code now. So I have a package here, file reader. File reader is right now having only properties reader. Now I'm going to create a new file called Excel reader. Excel reader is my class name. Okay, so Excel reader, what this does is it is going to just provide me the reading space for the Excel file. Okay, so first of all, let me create a path locator. Excel Excel file location. Okay, Excel file location equals dash data.xlsx. Okay, so that is my file location for Excel. Okay, that's my path. So next thing is I need to do some of this instance I need to create for Excel files. Okay, now I created some private static instances for file input stream, XSSF workbook, XSSF sheet, XSSF row. Okay, so these are the instances, those are static and private, and I'm going to import them. Okay, so I imported them and now they are in place. So let's write some method that is accessible for loading the Excel sheet. So public static void, this is just going to load me the file. Okay. Okay, so what this is doing is right now it does nothing. System dot print. Okay, loading Excel data is just my simply message. Okay, I need to write some file. Let's go to new file, and here I need to provide this path location. Okay, next thing I need a file input stream which is defined up. So FIS equals new file input stream FILE. So I give this file here. Okay, next thing workbook is equal to new XSSF workbook, that will ask for input stream, and then sheet I need to call sheet to SHEET equals new workbook dot get sheet, and that one would be the tab name. In my case the tab name is test data. Okay, let's import that file also which is IO file. Okay, and of course it is a checked exception, it will throw the exception, so I have that defined. One more thing I wanted to mention here is if you go to pom.xml, I have a Maven project, and if you do please get these dependencies in order to read the XML file. Okay, I have apache.py 3.9 version. I'm using two py XML and py. Okay, py. And if you don't have a Maven project, go download this from internet, and then once you download that py jar, then manually configure the build path, add that jar into your project. Okay, I go through Maven project because there's another benefit. If you have Maven project, then you can check this code into the server, and anybody in your team can pull the code and have that working right away. They don't have to manually build path again like you did downloading and configuring build path, right? So Maven is going to handle that. So just put the artifacts rather than adding manually jars. Okay, so here I did loaded here everything. So my file is now loaded, my sheet is loaded. Now after I open the file, I need to close. Okay, so FIS dot close. So my file input stream is now closed. I opened up, I read, and then my work is done. I just closed. Okay, so that's all I need to do here. Now next thing I want to do here is I need to store that whole thing into the map, right, which I said before. Let's do that. So public, this is very important, so please watch this carefully. Okay, public static map string map right, get data map, right? So I need to get that. Obviously this is going to throw me the exception because I'll be using the loader. Okay, so let's do this and let's import that map first. Map is there. Now what I want to do here is this is going to return. So before that, let me do some of this work here. Okay, super map equals new HashMap. Okay, and do one more thing. We need to define this map also. Okay, map equals new hash map. So let's put that hash map, import that hash map too. So that's also important. Obviously it is looking for something to return, right? So I need to get that map return map. Okay, so that piece is done. Now this is happy. Okay, what is next? So we need to loop that over and over with the row. Each row we need to go through this, pick the key, make that a hash maps key, make that the hash maps value, key value, key value, key value. Okay, so let's go through that. And first row we don't need that because that is just the table header. We want to focus on key value with the data, actual data. So let's go through that. So I need to loop that. Before that, doing this to happen, I need to load that data file because otherwise it will throw the null pointer. Okay, now I need to do that. If seed equals null, if there's not loaded, then load that file for me. Okay, that's what I want. Now it will load before it goes through looping. Okay, so next thing what I want to do here is I need to loop for int I equals 1, I is less than sheet dot get last row num plus 1 I plus plus. Okay, so we're just doing the for loop. Now I need to pick the row is already defined up. If you see here, row is there. So now I need to define what the row is. Row is sheet dot get row, and that would be I. Okay, so that is going to go through each row and it will create a row for you. Now I need to get the first row. Every time it loops through row, I need to fetch the first cell. So string key cell equals row dot get cell, right? Get cell 0 is the first index I want, dot get string cell value. So what this is doing is sheet dot get I, row dot I, right? So row dot I is 2 first time, and I said get key would be get cell 0. Cell 0 is this one, A is every time it loops through each row, it is going to talk about cell 0, which is going to be only one column. This would be cell 1. Okay, and let's go through that. And then what we do after that, we capture the keys. Every time it loops, it captures the key. Okay, so let's go through next round. We need to go to capture the values. So for let's capture some columns. Int column number equals row dot get last cell num. Okay, that's the column number. Now what I do, we need to loop with that column numbers. So for int j equals 1, because 0 is obviously the keys, we need two values. So j is less than col num, right? J plus plus. Okay, so what do we do now? Just like we did here, string key value. So we do like string value equals row dot get cell, and that would be j dot get string cell value. Okay, so now it is getting the value of cell is 1, the 1, j is 1, right? So j is the, so first cell we're looking for, only first cell. Okay, because there are only 2 cell, the column number we have only 2, it is going through 2, second one, so get 1 is going to give me the values only. So I'm going only through the value section now. This is the column section. So once I capture keys and values, now what I do, I need to capture that inside the map. So my map is my little map, right? Dot put, right? So key is key cell, right? Value is value, right? So that's my key and value. So my map is now prepared with each, every time it loops through this, it will capture this key and value, key value, key value. Every time it loops, it will capture entire map for me. Okay, Once I have that, I need to get this map is stored, otherwise it will get overridden, right? This map is stored inside the super map. Now I need to get the super map here. Outside of that loop, super map dot put key would be, I would say master data, that because that's entire Excel sheet, right? My map. Okay, so that is going to store the map. Okay, that's what we want. Super map needs string and then another map. We have another map now. So my Excel data is now ready to be used. Okay, that's all is the code part. Now what we do, once we do this whole thing, we need to create one public getter method. Okay, public static string get value key, right? Everything is exception because we need to ask for that exceptions to be there. Okay, so what we do here is, it's a string, we need to return some string. Okay, map string. Okay, my val equals get data map dot get that is the master data. I need to get data master data. Okay, so we need to get that master. So what we're doing is, okay, first of all you capture me map of the map, the master data. Now I need to create another map instance for that master data and take that as a map. Okay, so this whole map is equals to this. That's what I'm saying. Okay, in order to get this map, I have to call this method super map dot get this, then I will get this, right? So now my val is the same as my map. Okay, so that's what it says. So map dot get this is the key, master data is the key, then it will return me my map. So that's what I'm saying. So because you are asking with one single cell, and that master data contains entire thing, right? Entire thing map. I don't need entire thing, I need only one value. So what I'm saying is, I'm going to ask you one cell. In order to do that, I need to capture whole map, get one value based on that map I need to provide. Okay, same thing I'm doing. So my value is going to be, now my value string read value equals, right, my val dot get, right, keyword, right, my val dot get key. So now that is going to give me the individual item. So return value. Okay, so this is the one that is going to be returned. That's what I want. So now my all thing is done. So I have file, I created instances this, and then it is going to get this file's location object, and then I have an input stream. Input stream is looking for that file object, or you could simply give that file path here directly, okay, without even having line 24. And then you have a workbook you have, it will look for file input stream. So I'm passing file input stream. And then sheet is looking for workbook dot get sheet. So it will get the sheet from that tab, okay, Excel tab. And then I close this. So this is simply loading me the file. And then I have another method that is going to generate me entire method. It will return me the whole map of Excel sheets. I'm turning this whole Excel sheet into map, HashMap. Okay, so HashMap, I said, okay, if the sheet is null, then load me this file. Okay, otherwise you don't have to reload it. That's what I'm saying. And then I said, okay, there's a two map instance. One is a super map, one is a map, I said. So super map is the map that has a string that returns the entire map. Okay, this entire map is the Excel file. And then I have another map instance, that's where I'm going to store the Excel sheets map every time it loops through. Okay, I have a two looper here. One loop is for rows and one is for column is called cell. Okay, and every time it will get up to the value, I'm storing that cell and value. Okay, it's not at the column level, row level, it's a cell level. I have two keys I stored. Okay, these two fields 40 and 44, key and value, that I'm storing here. Now once this entire loop gets completed, right, every time this loops over and over and over, it completes, then it is going to create me the giant map. And I will say, okay, before you go here, I create one map. Okay, and once this is over, put that inside this map, that one set. Then go back again, loop. Once you get the another set, come back, put it here. So it is looping over and over until the cell is complete, rows are completed, right? And then that's what it's called super map. It is going to return me the super map. Super map is what I'm going to read that from entire file. So I create another instance so that I can get the getter method, right? Get value, I can give the key and I'll get the value. Okay, so that's all what I did. And then so it is going to return me the value based on the key I provided, and the keys are, my friends, this column A from 2 through 12 are keys. Okay, so in my case, let's say I want to read the base URL. I will copy that and I'll show you how we could do that. So let's create a main method. Okay, main method, then I'll write so then I'll just write get value. I'll write base URL, base URL is key, so I'll say get value of base URL. Okay, so then it will look for exception throws. Whoever calls this Excel file needs to define the exception. So it is going to return me the base URL. Let's say I want to get more data, not only base URL. Then just see this. So here I need, okay, first name. Okay, first name I need, and then okay, first name F is a small. Okay, that's good. And then what I need a username. Let's say username, right? So that's all I need. Get value, right? I am running this, run as application. Okay, so I'm running that. So here's the output. It is loading the Excel and it will provide me the data. Look here, so I called that method twice, but it did not load the data. It just loaded data once because it's not null. Then it continued to provide me with a single loader. Okay, so this is how you would be able to use the Excel reader. Now what do you want? You want to read that outside of class? It is even easier. Okay, let's do that. I can then just call this get value. See the get value method, right? I can call this get value method outside the project. So in my case, I'm going to call the browser. I need to launch the test, right? So I did properties loader. Instead of that, what I would do is driver dot get, right? So Excel reader dot get, right? Get value, that would be base URL, right? So it is going to now launch me the URL from this location. Okay, it is reading from there. So let's run that test. My test runs from this guy. Okay, let's run that test. Run as JUnit. Okay, let's minimize this whole thing that I don't need. Okay, here's your site. Okay, it is loading. Okay, it opened up the URL and here you are, and it continues the further test, whatever test that contained. Okay, so let that complete. Okay, it is looks like it is going to register link. and boom, it navigated there. Okay, that's it, probably it on that test. And if you see here that I simply printed that outside also. That is coming from the properties loader. I could have just uploaded that same thing just like did for this browser, right? So I could just print that out if I want, which all I meant is I could just get this, right? Instead of properties reader, now I can do Excel reader. So if you want to read that outside, then dot import that Excel reader, then get value. If that is the username, then yes, it will take that username. N is capital, so it's a case sensitive username. Okay, so let me run that now. It will give me the username from here, which is user1234. Let's run that again, and then we should call that out. Good. Initializing browser. It takes a little bit time because it is loading that Excel data. And then it is launching the site. Okay, so let's go back, and you see user1234 is also written. So that's how you would read. So it is now very easy and feasible across the project. Any classes you can call, simply call this a static method, provide the key that is part of the Excel key. Okay, so one more time, show you one final round of code. You have this loader class, a loader method here of file location, and then you have a map, get map. Okay, it has load condition here. If it is empty or null, then load. Then I have this map. Watch, this piece is the main key here. Okay, watch that. And then if you and once you are done with that, and with this super map, call that super map here with the master data and get that my map value here, and my map values dot get key is going to return you the value. So this is the public accessible method for you. Everywhere you want to call, you would call class name dot get this by providing a key that is part of the Excel sheets. Okay, and then this can be just public class. Is not the test. It is something that you would want to put inside the util. You don't want to write this type of class again and again. So that's why this is a common accessible. You want to put these things inside the main utils or file reader like this package. So you can call this method whenever you need to read the Excel data. I hope this has been very helpful, and this helped you understanding how you would be able to configure your Excel file to set up your test data and automate your test. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for watching my video, and please continue to subscribe and like my channels. Thank you very much.